What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back once again, and we are going to be talking about another movie today. We are finally going to be talking about The Empty Man. Now, if you guys have not seen this, go check it out so you guys can have your own review of it. But if you want to, you can go watch it on HBO Max right now. It is out. Now, overall, this movie came out late or in October last year, so it's been close to about a year. Never really saw the reason to go see this film, but I wanted something a little different to watch, so I figured, go ahead, try to give it a shot. Now, overall, there wasn't really no one that I recognized in this film. Now, I want to say the lead, James Badgedale, like he's done a bunch of different films, but he was the lead in this movie, and what the movie entailed was having to do with an entity that started off with four friends going to what looked to be the Tibetan mountains, and what happened was one of the friends found this skeleton, and then he just fell into a trance. His other friends tried to get him out. Well, what ended up happening was these friends ended up dying, and then it goes into the main character lead, who is James, and he is an ex-cop, and he has to find a family friend's daughter, and she went missing. Don't know exactly why she went missing. All we know is that she went missing, and her mother's freaking out, and even though she's of age, the cops ain't too worried about it. So the family friend that used to be a police officer, he is wanting to obviously help to try to find her. Now, we don't know exactly what entails what she's been doing. All we know that we find out in the movie is that she was apparently did some type of skit, which is sort of like the Candyman, like, if you say something this amount of times and you do something, then you're going to see, hear, and then eventually come in contact with whatever this thing is. And her and her friends did it on the bridge, and all her friends ended up dying except for her. She's still going missing. So James goes on this hunt of trying to find where she is, of where I think it was Rebecca, I think her name was. I can't remember her name offhand, but or Amanda, I think. Yeah, it could have been Amanda. I don't know, but he goes through this journey of trying to figure out what the Empty Man is, and he eventually goes to this school where the school that she was going to, the girl he's looking for, she was part of this school that eventually seemed out to be a cult, that they believed in this entity called the Empty Man, and throughout the entire film you're trying to figure out what the Empty Man is. And in the entirety of the film, it is extremely hard to follow. I will say that. For me, it was extremely hard to follow because it was going back and forth, because the character, he was dealing with the loss of his wife and son due to a car crash, which we later find out in the film, and we were still trying to figure out exactly what happened to what was his connection to this girl's mother, of the one he was helping. We eventually find out they were having an affair after the death of this girl's father. So it possibly was going on before then, but there is really no intent to find out for sure, because definitely throughout the entirety of the movie, we're still trying to figure out what was going on. And again, this was one of those movies, guys, you have to pay attention to every single scene, every single detail, because if you miss something, it's pretty much almost like you're watching subbed anime. If you don't watch it, you're going to miss something and you're not going to know what's going on. That's pretty much the way this film was, because the entirety of the film was it was doing this, and then this, and then this, and then that, and the way it ended is what really got me, because I was like, what the hell? Because when the character James goes into a certain area, will look to be almost like, not really a swamp, but like an old, maybe closed park, we see where he ends up finding information even about him that has really, like, to where they're trying to get information about him. Then later on in the film, they know all this information about him, where he was born, him being a cop, his family, everything about them. And it's really weird because it doesn't really say exactly how they got this information. And then later on, it gets revealed that Amanda, she reveals to him that he is the empty man, that he was created, that he was not born, that everything he knows was planted in his head. And then later on in the film, he is presented as the new empty man, and the empty man was presenting the body that was seen in the film of the very first person that I guess came in contact with the skeleton entity, or whatever it is. So overall, the movie was, I think, very confusing. It was hard to follow. It was it was one of those, it was really a brain teaser. It was where you really had to sit down and concentrate on what was going on. And some films like that are not too bad. Others can get on your nerves. Other times it can be insane. Now, to my knowledge, the only thing that I've looked up about the Empty Man is I think it's maybe like like a comic book or series, or a book, some type of book series. I mean, to me, the movie was, I would say, okay. It wasn't the best movie, but it was incredibly weird on the way that they were portraying the characters. It really made no sense. And it really lacked whatever logic you would think that had in the movie, because when you think this was going on, no, this was going on. And then you were trying to get a reasonable explanation and you couldn't. So if you guys have seen The Empty Man, what was your thoughts about it? Did you guys enjoy it? If you did, okay, great. If you didn't, that's okay too. You don't have to agree with me. Again, The Empty Man probably was not for me. If they make another one, maybe I'll watch it. I'm not entirely sure. Again, this is only about a year old, so it's not too old. So if you guys want to go check it out, go check it out. It is on HBO Max as of right now. But what was your thoughts about it? What would you rate it? Me personally, I'd rate it a 4 out of 10. Not entirely the best. I mean, it was a good brain teaser. I mean, it had some kind of spooky scenes. It wasn't scary at all. It was more of a mystery thriller movie. It wasn't a horror movie by no means. I think it was more of a mystery thriller type of film. It had, I guess you would say, a few jump scares, I guess you'd say, but it wasn't scary to me. It just was really to where you were trying to figure out what was going on. So again, 4 out of 10. Go check it out, guys. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys are new, consider about subscribing. Leave a big fat like on the video if you guys enjoyed. Also, if you guys are new, consider about subscribing. Click notifications so you guys are notified every time I upload. And I will always talk to you guys on the very next one.